Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of the Pieces of Grit podcast, the show designed to help you dig deeper in your identity, then set and achieve huge goals and dreams. I'm your host, Rachel Stewart, and today I get to talk to you about creating a life purpose statement. Before we get started, though, I would love for you to take a screenshot of this episode, share it on social media, let me and all of your friends know what you're doing today. So, without further ado, here's me. Let's get started. Hello, hello. I have been chomping at the bits to get to what we're going to talk about today, and it's made me a little sad to have so many weeks in between. But we are talking about developing a life purpose statement today. If you go back to episode 12, that was the first part where we looked at creating an identity inventory, capturing some of your personality, looking at your core values, getting sort of a 360 degree as you incorporate perspectives and feedback from other people around you. I would definitely choose trusted people. But go back and listen to episode 12. It's a really great precursor to what we're going to talk about today when it comes to actually populating words into your life purpose statement. So why do I need a personal mission statement or a life purpose statement, however you want to phrase it? Well, first of all, it gives you direction. If you're not sure where you're headed or even where you want to go, you need a life purpose statement. A life purpose statement also creates a framework within which you can excel. It kind of draws the boundaries of the things that you're good at and the things that are really deep inside you that maybe at this point, if you haven't yet done the identity inventory, maybe you're not even aware of them. A life purpose statement will provide a filter to run opportunities through. If you have a new job opportunity, a chance to travel, relationships come up, and even a relationship is important to run through your inventory, see if it aligns with who you are. And a life purpose statement will force you to analyze who you are and what you want out of life. You know, in my 20s, I was a drifter for so long, and I'm sure that there is a country song about that somewhere that no one wants to hear. But in my 20s, I ended up working for a few companies that in the short term, it worked out great. You know, it paid the bills and I liked the people that I worked with. But in the long run, it was not a good fit for my core values and who I am, the ways that I thrive and what brings me joy and life. I didn't know enough about myself at that time to really set sustainable goals and find purpose. And so I hope that what you get through listening to today's episode is information that will help you filter better what's coming at you as you're continuing down your path and on your journey, that you're able to define these parameters a little bit better than I was. So it wasn't until I started working through my identity inventory that I really started gaining confidence and understanding that I needed to be much more aware of my self direction and take control of my future instead of just hopping on board whatever little train came passing my way, thinking that, oh, well, it's an open door. It must be the right thing. Open doors and the easy path is not always the right one for you. I had to learn to be the boss of me and place myself in spaces where I could thrive and grow. Yes, I just said the boss of me. I ended up in draining environments because I didn't take the time to look within, to bring mentors and coaches into my life who could help reveal some of these things for me, who could give me the tools to open up who I was, to peel back the layers of my core identity. And so I want you to know who you are inside and outside. Peel back every layer of that onion into your soul, into your heart, into your mind. And I want you to love the way that you were created and learn how to maximize all of your strengths. You have so much potential. If you realize that, that's awesome. I want you to take the first step toward whatever it is that you're moving toward, your goals, your dreams. And if you don't yet know that, that's exactly what this episode is for. As you create a life purpose statement It's not going to be a crystal ball that will tell you exactly where you should live, which company you should work for, or who to choose as your life partner. But what it is going to do is give you a foundation on which you can build your life choices. Once you know who you are, you'll be able to accept or decline opportunities that bring you joy, utilize your strengths, and challenge yourself to be better today than you were yesterday. And that's always the goal, right? We don't want to start tomorrow the same as we did today. So let's get started in this. I promise this is the last time I'll say it, but go back to episode 12 for all the details on the identity inventory and some of the things that I might forget to say again today. There's also a free worksheet that you can download on my website at piecesofgrit.com. Go under the resources tab and you'll see the life purpose statement worksheet. I know that's a mouthful, but I just couldn't figure out how else to word it to make it intuitive for you. In your inventory, you're going to write down your personality profiles, your core values, your strengths, your passions, get trusted friends' observations on you. And my favorite question of all, that seems to also be the most challenging, is what do you do better than 10,000 other people? And I'd also add, what would your dream job be if money wasn't an issue and you could do anything in the whole wide world? Write that down because that's some great insight into you and your dreams. Think about some of your favorite jobs and the past times you've done previously. What gave you joy? What brought you life? What made you excited? What made you want to get better at that or try it again? So, when it comes to actually writing your life purpose statement, you're going to start with a lot of words, and that's okay. We're eventually going to refine it down into a single statement. On this first go around, write no more than a paragraph on what you see as your life purpose. Some of the components of your life purpose statement are going to be your dreams. What are the things that you just can't shake? Maybe you've had them since you were a kid, or maybe you just started thinking about it a few weeks ago. Another component, the second component of your life purpose statement is substance. That's a lot of who you are, those core values. And so as you're writing this paragraph, keep these three things in mind. And your purpose. What do you feel your purpose is? So, dreams, substance, and purpose. That's what I want you to put down when you write this paragraph. Let me give you an example. And this didn't come from anyone. I didn't even find it on the internet. I just kind of made it up. This is potentially a life purpose statement from a physical therapist. This is the full, unedited paragraph of where I want you to start. The example is, my life purpose statement is using my education in physical therapy to help people heal from illnesses and other medical conditions. I love working with people on an individualized basis to achieve goals. Physical health plays such a large role in a person's overall well-being, and I want to see them be whole. My heart breaks when I see people with unnecessarily limited function, and I am compelled to help them. This full paragraph is written out in the show notes for this episode, so I'm not going to repeat that, but be sure to look at the show notes if you want to kind of look over this and see the process of whittling it down. Once you have this paragraph version, just leave it alone. Walk away, think about it, let the words sit for a while, go days, weeks, or even months. And you might even want to include some other people. Send this paragraph to friends, to family, maybe a couple coworkers that spend a lot of time with you. When I bring in other people, I typically try to choose someone who has known me for a really long time, like my parents or siblings, or a coworker who sees me on a daily basis. Those coworkers, whether you like it or not, they see the good, the bad, and the ugly because that's just what happens when you spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day with someone. So after you've played around with this for a while and let that paragraph sit, go back to it, read through it, take your time, find a quiet place, start changing some components. See if everything that you wrote down still resonates with you, or if you need to delete or replace some of the phrases that you put in there. I'm a Christian and I believe that God guides me in everything I do. So I prayed over mine. So, whatever method of faith or wherever you derive your purpose from, kind of go into that place and spend some time quietly there to see what comes up in your heart and in your soul. Step two, after you have the big paragraph, is going to be whittling it down to maybe 2 sentences, 3 at the most, depends on how long your initial paragraph was. You probably don't need a lot of detail. In your first paragraph, you may have put some very specific information in there, but that's not something you want to have in your life purpose statement. Your life purpose statement should be broad enough that it encompasses different types of jobs. It's going to take into account different geographic places that you'll live, different family seasons, different life seasons. But it really should just capture the core essence of who you are. Step three is to keep doing this process of give it a few days, a few weeks to kind of marinate, think about it, pray about it, and then keep doing this until you have it down to 1 sentence. And for me, even after I had it down to 1 sentence, it took me, I would say, 3 or 4 years until I really felt comfortable that I had the wording that would carry me through a long period of time. Now, my life purpose statement might change over the course of my career, over the course of my relationships, but I strongly feel like what I have right now, I have spent so much time contemplating and getting other people's opinions on and seeing if that really does fit with me. And over the years, as I watch what I'm doing to measure it against that life purpose statement and see if the words that I wrote down really do help fit. Here's an example of that same initial paragraph that might have been written by a physical therapist and how they would narrow that down into a single statement. This is their finalized version. This is completely hypothetical, but it says, "My life purpose is to combine my knowledge of the physical body with my deep compassion in order to empower people to live healthy and happy lives." That statement captures core values, strengths, education, and passion without locking that person into any single profession or role. Remember, the keyword is a filter. It's a filter to remind you of what's most important in your heart and allow you to make choices in the middle of a potentially high stress situation based on parameters that you've already set when you were calm and thinking clearly. The last restructuring we did in my workplace, a few people had suggestions on what they thought I might like to do as we were figuring out how to reallocate some of these tasks and roles. When those moments come up, there isn't always a lot of time to reflect and process. People are exiting the company and you've got to fill those roles, and so it's high stress. You have to be ready for that. Because I had done all of this work ahead of time, I was able to redirect some of the tasks that were about to be assigned to me that would have made me miserable in the long run. The leadership around me really thought that I would enjoy a lot of tedious data checking and sitting in front of a computer and probably having my own office and being quiet all the time, not being around people. But that is the complete opposite of what I wanted or needed. And it still holds true today. You have to know yourself to be able to pursue your dreams and stay on the widest path with the most options. I know the blah feelings of being unsure of my future and what direction I should take. So if that's where you are, I identify with you and you're not alone. There are so many people out there in your shoes right now. I've stood at crossroads and I've shrugged my shoulders, taking the first open door or the easiest path, no matter what the road looked like. But I can assure you, it is not worth it. It might be okay, it might feel good for a time. You will get bored, you will get stagnant. So go out, do the things that you love or that you think you'll love as you figure yourself out. Life truly is too short. You are valuable, and you have to see that in yourself before people will truly grasp that as well. My hope is that to whatever degree you choose to work on your life purpose statement, you will dig deeper into your identity and allow that revelation to cause your dreams to grow bigger and brighter than ever before. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening today. I realize that you have so many other ways in which you can choose to spend your time, so I am honored that you would take a few minutes of your day to hang out with me. I hope that you got a lot from this discussion on creating a life purpose statement. Even if you've already done one before, I hope that you will take your self awareness a step deeper and share this with someone you know would benefit from it. I appreciate and read all of the reviews that you leave, so be sure that you head over to iTunes or Google Play or whatever platform you're listening on, star me, and leave a review. Until next time, guys, dig deep and aim high.